to the channel where the dough don't rise. Broken bakers here with the sarcastic eyes. From Danish pastries to courtroom crime, where the spelling's a mess, but the humor's prime. Pro se defendants taking the stand, with wine moms laughing, glass in hand. Mods like Marissa and Valhalla too. Irish and whiskey keep the chat in view. It's trial tribulations with a sprinkle of wit. Chats popping off, yeah, they never quit. Jamie's got the deals and the beauty hacks. Dollar store glam keeping us on track. So come for the crime, stay for the snark. Broken bakers baking up a legal spark. Mo hops in with spicy takes. Jemima's got the docs, Farrell brings the shakes. Brandon keeps it wild, Iron Rabbit keeps it chill. Together they're the dream team, streaming the thrill. With courtroom chaos and dry witty flair, we're roasting defendants, cause life's not fair. Grab your wine, your snacks, and settle in. Chat's the real star, let the fun begin. It's trials, tribulations with a sprinkle of wit. Chats popping off, yeah, they never quit. Jamie's got the deals and the beauty hacks. Dollar store glam keeping us on track. So come for the crime, stay for the snark. Broken bakers baking up a legal spark. Broken Baker streaming, so don't you miss, where courtrooms and sarcasm meet Danish bliss. Mods and chat, we're keeping it clever. True crime and dry humor now and forever.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whoever you are, what if any you might be, and welcome to another interesting motion filed by Mr. 75K, Hank the Tank Brennan in the Karen Reed case. I don't know how many of you were around other channels who covered it yesterday, but what I saw, I kind of agree with. After reading it, this seems, again, like partly he didn't watch trial number 1, part 2. I'm a stupid Danish guy. Let me go down a different route. I'm a stupid Danish guy. I barely made it out of school. I did my 10 years, got probably like a C or something, average. Then I became a baker. Doesn't take that much. Did way better in baking school than I did in normal school. I never wrote anything as this guy does. He seems like a high school girl who is writing to his girlfriends about how stupid the other one is because she went to Greece over the summer and hung out with a cute Greece guy, Greek guy. She shouldn't think she's something. Let's get into it later. But Brendan, from IU to OSU to GA, all have succumbed to padded men from the University of Notre Dame. Now we ship up to Boston to castrate Penn State like a sailor peg that lost his leg, or to ski in Miami. Congratulations on your win yesterday, Brandon. I saw it this morning that the mighty Fighting Irish won a game. I think it was something for diabetes awareness, the Sugar Bowl. Maybe it was a commercial for American cereals, but no one could have done it better than the mighty Fighting Irish. Named after Irish, my mod, because she fights a lot. But congratulations. I just saw something. Was it their team where the quarterback or whoever wasn't allowed on the stage? ESPN. It's 2025. New world. Come on now. Oh, and by the way, we have a sponsorship for this stream today. So welcome the committee for Brandon for Supermod 2025. And thank you for sponsoring this stream. Can someone tell me why defense is not filing any motions? What should they file motions about? They have an unwilling judge. They can't get what they want. They can't get the phones. They were denied the phones in the first trial. So they can't have the phones to try and prove anything nefarious. They had access a little bit to the phones. What came from that, we don't know. Other than that, the defense doesn't really have anything they need motions for. Motions is just, especially this one, it seems more a motion to, we don't like the expert. The expert hurt us. And to be honest, this Richard Green, I didn't like him as an expert. I would actually hope they didn't bring him back because he was really bad on the stand and he had an expert problem. He couldn't explain what the val file, the hash files, the dat files, the bat files was. So I understood it. That's why I like the ARCA guys. They had the same education, but they work with providing evidence. So they know how to give you the gist of what is up. The problem is this expert, he seemed like a fuddy-duddy professor. He was way, way, way more qualified than anyone on the stage team, but he was just a bad communicator. And again, it doesn't matter how smart you are. If the stupidest person in the room doesn't understand you, your expert testimony means nothing. Oh, happy birthday to me. Life gave me a cold with fever. It's lovely. Well, happy birthday. I celebrated it with having the first snow of the year this morning. I was up at 5 doing my night show. Then I went back to get an hour of sleep before I went and did retro dance. And when I woke up, it was just white out. Now most of it has melted away again. But congratulations. 25 never looked this good. Oh, you were here 3 days ago, I think. Yeah, and again, everyone, I should do a full video just pulling up stupid Smurfs Twitters because I don't think they understand anything that's going on. Because I read on Twitter the case is over now. This proves everything. No, because you haven't read the 40-page report that will be referenced in the text today. And none of you are smart enough to understand anything of it. You are just running with, we don't like Aiden. That's why we don't like Karen. And that's why she is a something. This is just like with the Blake Lively thing. Yesterday we read Justin's take on it. The day before that we read Jones' Works take on it. The day before that we read Jesus, I can't speak again today. We read Blake Lively's take on it. None of these are the truth. All of these are written to kind of seem like my side has something. Anyone who thinks that it's the truth, what Justin, Blake, or Sandra Jones, whatever her name is the truth. No, you're just pulling wool over your eyes. Motions are just my side's version of the truth. It's just doesn't make sense. Hey, Opal Gypsy. Hello, Betsy. Commonwealth doesn't use a lot of case law in emotions, mean they have nothing. Exactly, but we're going to get to that. Hello, Zach. Feel like Broken Baker got about 50% of those references. No, I got... IU is Illinois University. OSU is Ohio State University. GA is Georgia. Notre Dame will then go up to Boston to play Penn State. Penn State is a university, but I don't know which of the if it's Miami University or Florida Gators or whoever they are taking on. I know everything. Everything. I don't know anything. Never forget the warning from own experience from Wilfred Brimley. If you do a bad thing enough, you will have to get punished for with diabetes. No ice cream anymore, or the doctor takes your left leg. I'm so far behind. Oh, I'm sorry. All the defense needs to do is focus on not guilty instead of innocent. Get ahead of whatever new nonsense they are bringing in and let the rest go. Yes, that's another point I want to bring up with this, because the defense should just take yeah. I got more money from Brandon already than I did going to get from ads. Should just take the piss out of the state and don't waste time on the third-party culprit defense. Just go by. Well, we're not interested in Jen McCabe, Colin Albert, Brian Albert. None of these people are interesting to us. We have the ARCA guys. We have our forensic specialist, and all they will testify to is the car never hit the guy. And then you will have Hank the Tank wasting 7 months or 7 weeks of, well, Aruba, didn't she look funny at you? That, I think that's kind of the problem. I know why they went with the third-party culprit, because there is a lot that talks for a third-party culprit. But with the strong physical evidence that they now have, because now they can talk to the ARCA people, they can sit down. They couldn't do that in the first trial. Sit down with Ship Up to Boston is a song. Oh, I didn't understand that. But sit down with the ARCA guys. Focus 100% on the damages to the car and the damages to John O'Keefe. That's all you're going to work for on defense. Just say, well, all of this is just the state blowing smoke up your behind. We don't care that Brian Higgins and Brian Albert apparently like to call each other while they have smacks. We don't care that Jen McCabe is Googling stuff in the middle of the night. We don't care about any of that, because the facts in this case is that car never hit that person. Without evidence that car, and we can prove it, get some demonstratives that shows how the body wouldn't fit next to the car. Get some demonstratives that shows with the 4.5 degree left turn angle on the steering wheel, which is approximately this much, she wouldn't have been able to make the turn on the road. Focus on the strike, not the bar, not the morning after. Clearly only go with what happened at the second he passed away. Was the car present? That's what I would go with. Thank you, Jemima, for sharing the Shipping Up to Boston song. Yeah, I would stay away from all the snow. I would stay away from everything. Just one silly point. The car never hit him. Lol, only the third day of the year and Baker is swearing. Well, I keep bad company. But thank you, Jess. Because one of the problems with all of this is everyone is trying to prove who did it. The defense have no obligation to prove who did it. They only have an obligation to show Karen didn't do it. Gonna need a bigger swear there. Just yeah, well, maybe. Hey, Julie. God dang swear jar, fill it, Baker, for F's sake. The only thing I want to know is what did the band play? Because we were never told what was the number the band played. If it was Survivor, then we know that that she did it. I don't know. Bad Company is Paul Rogers. I don't know who Paul Rogers is. Bob Motter thinks they focused on third party too much and should stick to disproving Commonwealth. I agree with Bob Motter because you just helped them muddy the water. You helped them do this, give you a big stack of evidence with nothing on it. Just say, we don't know why the Commonwealth called you to the stand. Were you present? Did you see the car hit? No, I know you changed your story 45 times, but it has nothing to do with anything. You want to know what I know? What did the fox say? Ring, din, 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 ring, din, 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 din. I thought you would like to know it's snowing in Pittsburgh. Well, it's not snowing in Canton because they never had snow in Canton. I want to hear from a proctologist to explain butt dialing. Yeah, that's again. I have started doing more stretching, but my butt is not that nimble. Paul Rogers, the singer of the band Bad Company, known for their song Bad Company. Don't know that song. And we don't have a trial date for the Karen Reed case. They asked for 1st of April, but it wasn't granted. They were just granted a delay of trial. But let's get into what we're really here to talk about. Grifting is over. It's snowing in Canton, Ohio. Neither can mine. Commonwealth's motion to exclude defense witness Richard Green's debunked opinions. First of all, let me do something. Debunked is not a legal term. Debunked is a term we use on the interwebs because we're smart people like that. That means that I have said that something and you have debunked it by saying something else. Debunked is not a legal term. Opinions. This is what experts are hired to have. They are not there to testify on anything other than their opinions. No, you can't debunk his opinions. He can have all the opinions, being incorrect as they could be, that she Googled it, and then they should be allowed to bring him. But putting in debunked opinions, hashtag, no, air quotes. I'm not a lawyer. Jemima, is that normal that you write motions like this using popular vernacular? I think that's the word. And then opinions, because if it's opinions, so it's not his opinions, or what do you think? Again, this is written like a high schooler. Hey, Technostation, thank you for 3 months. I never say hi to you anymore, Holy Mac. I'm just, there's a lot of stuff going on, and if I'm on a rant and I scroll later, I don't see everyone. Only when you're trying to showboat, yeah. Yeah, that's, again, we're talking about a man who is a lot smarter than Hank the Tank, who has a lot more degrees than Hank the Tank, and a lot more than Hank the Tank's expert. But debunked. Marissa Sack is offering to help with the whole Apple button phone unlocking. I suggest you seize the moment. You miss 100% of the sits you don't take. What? Sometimes I'm little. Bumbling Bee. I'm surprised they put debunked in the very first sentence of a legal filing. Debunked when, where? I guess I missed that. And can you use a thesaurus or ask ChatGPT for a more professional term? Exactly. But the Commonwealth respectfully moves that the Honorable Court to exclude the proposed expert testimony by Richard Green relative to two issues. The claim that Jen McCabe's phone Googled how long TD in sicket or how long to die in cold at any time prior to 6:23 on January 29th. This is another little funny thing that the defense should have been more ready to do. When she claimed she sat in the police car and Googled it twice because Karen yelled at her twice, how long does it take? We have a dash cam that shows they weren't in the car at that time. And two, that Jennifer McCabe's phone incurred user deletion of any data related to Google searches. Exclusion is appropriate because both claims lack any evidentiary support and the claims cannot be made in good faith. Allowing introduction of baseless claims without any scientific, forensic, or factual support would be misleading to the jury and disruptive to the interest of justice. The Commonwealth's expert Ian Whiffen is Cellebrite's. Cellebrite is the leading forensic data extraction software tool that provides forensics examiners the ability to access and analyze, not analyze, data stored within a digital device. The Cellebrite software allows an examiner to parse layers of data through different methods of extraction and analysis. Remember, the Commonwealth's expert, Ian Whiffen, is Cellebrite's senior digital intelligence expert and an expert in digital forensic. It's very important that they put this little "and" in because he doesn't work for Cellebrite in any way connected to digital forensics. This guy is a sales rep. He's a glorified sales rep who gives seminars on how to use Cellebrite. He has his own program that he claims is necessary to use the product he sells on behalf of Cellebrite. Because that's the tool that found out nothing had been stored, nothing had been done incorrectly, and everything was fine. This guy didn't even use the latest rendition of Cellebrite and didn't use the correct phone. So again, they are mashing it together to say he's Cellebrite's expert in digital forensics, but he's not. He used to work. He's probably a spook from England or Canada. And now he has his own program that more than 75 people have downloaded to use because Cellebrite isn't a reliable tool, according to a man that sells Cellebrite. The Fourth Superior Court District has ruled you don't need any expert anymore to testify about the validity of Cellebrite. Cellebrite is the gold standard. It is a tool that anyone who has training in it can testify about. You don't need them anymore. In Denmark, we don't have any expert coming in. It's just a police officer who's been trained on Cellebrite who will tell you how he extracted the data, and then you read it by yourself. Unfortunately, Marissa can't feel the buttons to dial after she lost her butt skin in that Rawhide chair that got too hot. Exactly. Thank you, Puddletown. That was last year during the trial that she lost her butt skin. Typically, you would set this proof, but that's rare too because it's for the jury to determine if one expert is correct over the other. That's another good little point. Because experts' credibility is weighed by the jury, not by the judge. If they pass voir dire, which he did with flying colors, and he has, I think he's We're going to watch his start of his testimony just to get his credential in a bit. Hey, Reby. What? I'm not sure. No, Marissa, spook is a common word for a secret agent. It's not a derogatory term. He has engaged in a comprehensive analysis of the two above claims lodged by Mr. Green. His analysis and included the implementation of forensic data science, personally reviewing the device data, probably an accurate employing Cellebrite technology, and a study of materials generated from the device. Ian Whiffin's report dated December 2024 is Exhibit 1, not attached, so we can't go and see if he this time had access to all of the data, or he was only given parts of the data like they were in the first trial, because that's another little thing. They claimed that the defense didn't give everything to their witnesses, even though it was the FBI who hired the witnesses, but neither did the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth never gave them access to the devices. They only gave them partial data snippets. After a comprehensive study of the forensic data and consideration of Mr. Green's claims, Mr. Whiffin's opinion disproving Mr. Green's claim are unequivocally. Mr. Whiffin provides, I can state with absolute certainty that there's no evidence whatsoever on this device that the Google searches how long TD in Sickett or Hus long to die in the cold occurred prior to 6:23 a.m. on the 29th of January. Moreover, Mr. Whiffin concluded that there is no evidence that the user tried to delete any search history or that tampering occurred with any of the data I examined. Did you examine all of the data? We need to see the report to see that. Consequently, Mr. Green's testimony on these two issues is wrong, factually unsupported, and should not be admitted at the jury trial in this matter. But he showed you where he found it. That's why it's the battle of the experts. You have a defense and you have a state expert, and then the jury will say, I trust this guy more than this guy. The underpinnings of Mr. Green's testimony on these two issues fails to meet the requirements set forth in Daubert and Commonwealth v. Lanigan. Because one, the defendant cannot meet its burden to demonstrate that Mr. Green is qualified to testify to these two opinions. Yes, they can. Mr. Green's opinions do not meet the minimum requirements of digital forensic and lack any scientific basic. No, because we saw it in the first trial. He downloaded it and he showed you where it was. Mr. Green will be unable to provide any facts to support his previous testimony, which has been completely discredited relative to these two issues. It's funny that you didn't show us how it's been. You can't be that certain when you don't know. And that's why he put in with the data I've seen. I know it has been used as a slur, but it's also a secret. I can call them Feds from now on, just like Fedorowski. Well, maybe not by racists, but because it's racist. Well, I'm always racisms. I would actually, I need totally not a Russian boss was the only guy who kind of made all of these hashtags, WAS files, Dell files, and what wall files make sense. None of the experts did that. Procedural history. In June 21, Mr. Green testified on behalf of the defense. Mr. Green purported to be a forensic expert specializing in computer cloud surveillance systems and other systems. Mr. Green testified that he was asked to pass through data from phones belonging to McCabe, Reed, and O'Keefe. He said the Google search were found in a write-ahead log, where data is stored temporarily before it's written into the main database. Mr. Green claimed just by the nature of it, we'll find a lot of the newest artifact in a wall file. Mr. Green also proclaimed that the search was in a deleted state. He testified that he found a lot of other user-deleted artifacts on Ms. McCabe's phone on McCabe's data from the morning of January 29th. On April 11, Richard Green submitted an affidavit on behalf of the defendant, opining that search history information obtained from Jennifer McCabe's cell phone indicates that on January 29th at 2:27:40, the phone's user entered the following search in Safari: "Hus long to die in cold." Affidavit of Green, blah, blah, blah. On June 21st, Mr. Green testified at the defendant's first trial and rendered a similar opinion, claiming that certain phone calls were user-deleted. See June 21st testimony. During cross-examination, Mr. Green was broad and vague about his training, experience, and lack of digital forensic certifications. See Exhibit 3, not attached to this one. Mr. Green conceded during his trial testimony that Cellebrite modified their software based on his misinterpretation of data from Jennifer McCabe's cell phone. See Exhibit 3, we can't see that one. Despite knowledge of his error, Mr. Green has yet to submit a revised written report or opinion. In response to Mr. Green's misconstructions, the Commonwealth retained two experts in digital forensic, Jessica Hyde, who weren't given full access, and Ian Whiffen, who weren't given full access. During the defendant's first trial, the court permitted a courtroom demonstration by Mr. Whiffen to assist the jury in understanding digital forensic and how the Google searches were stored within the digital database. Did anyone understand that? Because I don't understand how that is a claim that has anything to do with his superior knowledge, because I couldn't understand one word. I think, again, only Russian Bot was the only guy who understood any of the mumbo jumbo they were saying in that demonstration. Specifically, the Safari internet browser. See generally Commonwealth v. Sosa, when digital evidence is voluminous, parties should consider authenticating and admitting excerpts where jury may find it too difficult to master the technology to find and view relevant portions of evidence. Additionally, Jessica Hyde, a highly qualified forensics examiner, conducted an encompassing review of digital artifacts file system and conducted independent peer-reviewed experiments to determine. Oh, that's interesting. So she did peer-reviewed experiments, which just means she used techniques that others has proven before to determine that. But it sounds good. It sounds like her experiment had been peer-reviewed, but it isn't. To determine that Jennifer McCabe's phone was in use at 2:27 when the Safari browser was open and looking for a website for Hockermock Sports. At 6:23, the same Safari browser tab was engaged and a new search for how long was conducted when Apple produces a suggestion for how long to digest food. The search is instead completed with how long TD in cold at 6:23. A new search is conducted at 6:24 of how long to die in cold. This finding was consistent with Trooper Garino's review of the cell phone extraction and with testimony of other witnesses. No. Well, I did understand that he was explaining it like a moron. Yeah, again, both of these guys were horrible witnesses because none of them testified in a manner that made any sense to a layperson. Guess what is on the jury? 12 lay people. Probably why, when we hear from the other witnesses, the only thing they were hung up about was the DUI part, because they were presented with an expert who talked about she was drunk. Oh, we can kind of understand BAC. We're going to use that. All of this BS. And again, why are you fighting to keep this guy out? Because this guy doesn't prove or disprove if Karen hit him or didn't hit him. This has nothing to do with anything. And before anyone says, well, it's to get Jen McCabe, the subject of this trial has nothing to do with Jen McCabe. It has nothing to do with that chick in Aruba. It has nothing to do with what the band played. This case, as I've said it 1,000 times, is a hit and run case. This case should last 3 days at the most, but because The Commonwealth is so bad at their job, it took 9 weeks. It should just be, did the injuries to John align with a strike from a car going 24.3 miles per hour at the time of impact? How long to de-incult doesn't matter. What the band played doesn't matter. If the two Bryans have a secret homosexual relationship doesn't matter. Everything that matters in this case is the injuries on John's body doesn't line up with a person being struck by a 6,000 pound vehicle going at 24.3 miles per hour. All of the rest of it, I know it's fun to sit and do all the, Chloe bit him and Colin was in the house and someone hit him, someone dropped him. It doesn't matter. All of this third-party culprit is, as soon as Karen Read is freed, then they should go find the real person. But the only thing that matters in this trial is, did Karen Read hit John with the car? And she didn't. Horrible. Gonna need more than $5 if you want your banana fried. Well, trying to fit a Cellebrite and dot attack into a hit and run with physics from Fallout 76 takes a couple of weeks. Yeah, and that's the problem. This case is about everything else than a hit and run. They might as well put Val up on the stand to discuss how hard liquor impacts your BAC. He could be an expert on pouring drinks on the floor, though. I don't think... I have a story for you, Brandon. No, I shouldn't. No, that's me. No, I won't do that. Next time you're talking to Val, ask him about tequila in Tennessee. That's all I will say. Expert. Thank you, Brandon. This motion is just the CV throwing stones to the moon. The defense is entitled to create doubt as their expert opinions are plausible. CV can cry. This affects their case, but this is fair game. To me, it is. Just as Dragnet would say, just the facts, ma'am. Exactly. The FBI guys was fun to listen to, though. Yeah, but those guys had actually something. And talking about the FBI, that's another thing. Any one of you remember when we discussed the TUI motion, where Lally agreed that the forensic expert from the FBI confirmed that 227 happened? It's in the TUI motion. The TUI motion is the 3,600 pages from the FBI. It mentioned that it happened at 227 or before that, which is also what Mr. Green testified to. 227 or before is when she searched it. Remember what she said? I was Googling It's Raining Men because there was a fun video. Sadly, you can't prove that because the only proof there was of that is you Googled that 2 days before. Just as well as the Hokum Mokum basketball team was the January 27th, not a January 29th search. But Lally, doing the testimony or doing the hearing about the TUI motion, agreed that the FBI forensic expert found the 227 search. I'll go to TwitTwat and see if I can find it because that's another little bitty thing that doesn't. I'm going down all the side roads. She has a big backbone. I thought you skipped the mouse's ear. This was at the place where they don't serve Danes. It's very hard to take this trial serious. All the while, they never brought a dog whisperer so Chloe could take the stand. Yeah, where's the medium? They should get what's her name? Why can't it? Krusty Clairvoyant. Get her on the stand. Argument. Richard Green's debunked opinions are not an example of battle of the experts, best left to be resolved by the fact finder, but instead an attempt to infect the jury with an inadmissible opinion that is not premised on reliable data. Digital forensic. Cellebrite has updated its software to prevent manipulation of data. Shortly before the defendant's first trial, Cellebrite created and introduced physical analyzer software version 10.2. Since the defendant's first trial, Cellebrite has added another version of updated software, 7.67. You wouldn't have a lower number in a newer. Is it the same software they're talking about? I never seen a software edition being down numbered. It'll always go up. The updated version removed the timestamp value from record sourced from the Safari's browser state.db because further research shows that the timestamp is not a reliable source for a timestamp relating to the URL shown. The basis for Mr. Green's contested opinion has been refuted not only by the Commonwealth's independent expert by Cellebrite itself, who has removed the type of timestamp relied on by Mr. Green from Cellebrite's decoding engine. Furthermore, when Jennifer McCabe's cell phone extraction is analyzed in the newest version of Cellebrite, the 2:27 a.m. last visited timestamp no longer appears on the extraction report. But didn't you just say that they had removed, because they removed the timestamp value? Rather, the time shown represents the status of the browser tab and the digital forensic artifacts pertaining to web history, and Apple Mobile Safari again confirmed that the Huss long to die in cold search occurred at approximately 6:24. Likewise, there was no evidence that the Google searches was user deleted. See Jessica Hyde forensic analysis provided to the defense by Discovery Notice on December 20th. That could be interesting to read. Even though Mr. Green claims are wrong, the defendant herself has engaged in promoting this false narrative. On June 20th, 23, interview with Gretchen Boss, the defendant advanced this baseless claim. Remember, they really wanted the interview note from Gretchen Boss. This is what they're going to use it for, which has nothing to do with his expert opinion or knowledge. This is other BS. And again, she can lie all she wants. She can tell you, I wasn't in Canton that day. She can go on Vanity Fair, who also confirmed via digital forensic expert that the search happened at 2:27. But if Karen Reed wants to go on CNN tonight and say, I don't know why I'm being charged, I was in the Maldives on that night. You can play it in court and show she's untrustworthy, but there's no law against her spreading any rumors, using any PR campaign, claiming anything. She's a defendant in the case. She has the right to say whatever she wants. It can then be used against her in the court of law. But Mr. Green's testimony has nothing to do with what she told a reporter that actually is anti-Karen Karen Reed. If I read her things right, I might be wrong. First court appearance after we revealed that Jen McCabe Googled, yeah, and it happened at the same time as the basketball search, which also wasn't in the report, nor was the how long to die at 6:23 that she admitted to. There was no Google activity in the Cellebrite report that was handed over to us as gospel. Redaction. See transcript of June 20th, 23 interview. So, what does this prove? Nothing. She just says there was none of this was shown in the transcript she got, which is correct because you just claimed it's not there. There's no evidence she did anything. They need to have a better opening this time. Their opening sucked. Yeah. Just tell the jury you will hear a lot from the prosecution, a lot about Snow and this and that, but nothing incriminates my client. You will be overwhelmed with irrelevant evidence. Just write it down and read it out if you have to. Just don't completely botch it this time. I think, and I said this again the first time, they went way too long with the third-party culprit, and they didn't do enough to dissuade them of thinking she hit him. That's why they were hung on the second charge. There could still be a DUI in it. She didn't do it intentionally, and I can't remember what the third one is on the top of my head. But that's also why the defense should use their time now to cut their case, and let the state talk all about who was in the house, who played what. It's Raining Men, who absolutely didn't go in there, didn't go everywhere. Again, this just seems like desperation. Yeah, and it seems like that's the one they're going to do again. Get back to sleep. It's too early for you. Inadmissible evidence should always be excluded. Yes, of course it should. But so should evidence, because if Bev grants this one, I want the clothes thrown out because there's no chain of custody. It was in a room for 6 days. How can you prove that? I can't. I put it there. Oh, you're the guy who got fired for the job because you had inappropriate searches on her phone and yeah, let's throw the phone out. Let's throw out her Google search or her phone extraction as well, because we know he searched her phone before they got a search warrant. Why did they do that? Let's throw out every mention of the Ring camera that they tried to imply that she had changed, even though their own expert said no access from the laptop. So many things that they could hit back and say, well, Trooper Paul shouldn't be allowed, on the basis alone that he, in the Sandra Birdsmore case, missed 32 digital messages between the F-head who should be burning in hell for grooming and killing that poor woman. He missed 32,000 communications. How is he allowed to testify? I'm pretty sure Dr. Green didn't do that. Inadmissible evidence should always be including allowing debunked claims. You can't claim it's debunked. It's an opinion. Reads the jury would necessarily risk misleading the jury and creating prejudice to the Commonwealth. Commonwealth v. Hines. The role of the expert testimony is to assist jurors in interpreting evidence that lies outside their common experience. Mr. Green's factually wrong opinions would not assist the jurors and would instead risk confusing jurors. An expert witness is not permitted to testify to matters beyond the area of expertise or competence. So, Trooper Paul is out. The Commonwealth asserts that Mr. Green is not qualified to render an opinion claiming Jennifer McCabe's phone Google "Hos long to die in secret" or "Hos long to die in the cold" at any time prior to 6:23 on the January 29th, and any claim that Jennifer McCabe's phone incurred user deletion of any data. How can you do that? I bet you at some point she has deleted something. We know she had at least deleted 8 phone calls, so that shouldn't be allowed. A Daubert hearing is necessary to assert whether the defendant may call Mr. Green to testify. Again, this is what it's all about. Make Karen Reed spend another 5,000-10,000 to have a Daubert hearing that will, in every courtroom in the land, even in Judge Bev's, lead to him being a qualified expert. And I will show you why he's a qualified expert in a minute. It is the defendant's burden to establish that Mr. Green's testimony will assist the tier of fact to understand the evidence or to determine a fact in issue, and that the methodology and theory underlying the expert's testimony is sufficiently reliable to be presented for the jury's consideration. Clearly, the methodology and theory underlining Mr. Green's testimony is not sufficiently reliable to be presented for the jury's consideration. A jury should not be permitted to consider baseless claims. The defense will not be able to meet the Daubert standard requiring to proffer Mr. Green as the two contested opinions, blah, 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 blah. For the foregoing reasons, the Commonwealth respectfully requests that the court order a hearing and or exclude Mr. Green's opinion relative to the two contested claims at trial. Isn't it wonderful? 11 days after they turned the data over with the new software to the defense, claiming that they had all new evidence based on their experts' new expertise, the expert that claimed that you couldn't use the old version of Cellebrite, you had to use his. Now all of a sudden you can use Cellebrite, and it's just Dr. Green who doesn't understand anything and he's not qualified. Isn't it magical that they can write a motion in 11 days? Didn't even give him time because it's over Christmas. Didn't even give Mr. Green time to look at his report. We're doing the Dr. Russell part 2 on Tuesday. How much do you want to bet that she read the parts of that book he threw in front of her and is ready to debunk all of his claims? This is a simple draining of the coffers of Karen Read. It's malicious, it's vindictive, and it shouldn't be allowed by a prosecutor because he has all your money. He can do whatever he wants. Karen Read has to pay for her own party. The prosecution theory on how he was hit changed before the trial and during the trial several times. Yes, and Lally claimed that what Trooper Paul said wasn't correct during his closing, and he changed the timeline twice during his closing arguments. They need to realize that proving Karen Read didn't do it, someone else did to stop proving someone else did it. Just prove Karen Read didn't, that is not possible. They need to realize that proving Karen Read didn't do it equals someone else did. Oh, there needs to be a point there. So stop proving someone else did it. Just prove Karen didn't do it. Yes, that's what I've been saying. Cut it down. The entire case needs to be dropped. My state trooper friend said the first they need to block off scene and check the house and go door to door with cameras. Yeah, but that's for the state to decide, and they won't do it. He's a focus group guy, according to EDB. Yeah, he's a defense lawyer. That you can tell by the way he writes this. He doesn't know he's representing the state now. Just repeat, he wasn't hit by any car, so she couldn't have hit him. Do a few nights in jail for contempt if you have to. That is the only thing you should be arguing. I agree, Brandon. They want the dog lady, him. This is deflecting. All of it is deflecting. He's just making the case to limit the expert, not to throw him out. This guy is good at BSing with a straight face. No, he wants him excluded, and then he is changing it to saying, well, I now want you to have another Daubert hearing or throwing him out. They should hire a junior lawyer that just get locked up questioning every witness about how could she hit him with a car if he wasn't hit by any car. Yeah, and they should have Jen McCabe's 5 different testimonies and go through them and said, you stated at 12:45 she was outside of your house. Yes. But she left the scene no later than 12:31. So are you sure your testimony is correct? Because we know she couldn't have been there at 12:45 because at that time she was in his house. So it doesn't make sense. And again, the problem is they weigh way too much into proving someone else did it than proving she didn't do it. That was my critique back then, and it's my critique again. But I don't see them doing the same mistakes because, yeah, maybe you can throw out Huss Long to Die in Cold, but you can't throw out the Arca guys. And How's Long to Dying Cold is something that the Commonwealth need to consider after. Because if Karen Read is found not guilty, then the Commonwealth have a big problem, because then all the people, they have had 2 trials defending, because the Commonwealth isn't trying to prove Karen Read did it as much as they are trying to prove the McCabe's didn't do it. But if Karen Read is found not guilty, who are they gonna go after next? They're gonna let a cop killer slip because they tried to hang an innocent woman for it. This is what you get when the prosecution and the police officers are going to bed with each other, as we say in Denmark. They are a little too close to each other. Then justice won't be served. How's it going? Happy birthday, by the way, to another guy who will never get justice in Massachusetts. Enrico Garcia, I believe that was his last name, would have been a year older today if he had not participated in a training accident and lost his life as a recruit for the MSP. Eduardo Garcia. Can't remember his nice name. Yeah, but again, then get heavy on the. But I think they should do, if they have access to those 6 jurors, they should talk to them. What do you need? That's a mod of the year strategy right there. Fake mod Val. Exactly. Hey, Steve, just got back from Kate Peters hearing in Learminster District Court. Did it get continued like everyone else with LG and her? Valhalla is a mod from your channel. Yeah, he's a fake mod. Special prosecutor, new defense attorney. So continued to February. KP appeared via Zoom from her car. Oh, she's such a. How can they have all these special prosecutors in Massachusetts? Don't they have anyone working at the prosecutor's office? Yeah, she probably wrote a thesis on that book. Member for 5 months, Julie Fraser. I've been talking nonsense for more than 5 months. Well, we only recognize the last 5 months of it. No, you've been around for longer. I'm so far behind. Zach out here spreading misinformation. I have to watch them. Those are always sketchy, even though they are conflict. Just before I am going to show you why Mr. Green is qualified. I have been lucky enough today that I have had a sponsor for my channel. And I know you're all waiting. Is it Raid Legend? Is it one of those pyramid schemes that want to get your social security number? No. This is more important than this. This is my first ad read of an official ad. So bear with me. Ladies and gentlemen, mods and members, gather round because 2025 is the year you will all been waiting for. Tired of wrenches being hoarded like a squirrel with acorns? Sick of the mod who treats people more like nuts than friends? Well, fear not. Your knight in shining and actually used wrench is here. Introducing Brandon, the mod who doesn't just hoard wrenches, but actually does something with them. That's right. When you need someone pocket blocked, Brandon is your guy. Need a thread cleaned up? Brandon don't do that. He pocket blocks. And the best part, he is here to save you from the tyranny of Valhalla, who may or may not be from Sweden, but definitely has a suspicious affinity for lingonberries. Folks, let's be real. Valhalla might have the wrench collection of a mechanic with an endless tool shop, but when was the last time you saw him fix anything? Rumor has it he's more into hoarding than helping. Can we really trust a mod who loves lingonberries more than our community? So vote early, vote often, and vote for the mod who will actually mod. Brandon, 2025, because every rent should be in the hands of someone who will use it for good. Not more stolen votes, no more rents hoarding, just pure unadulterated modding excellence. Brandon, 2025, the choice is clear. Paid by the Friends of Brandon for Top Mod Foundation. Thank you to the Friends for Brandon for Top Mod Foundation for being my first sponsor of a show. It starts earlier and earlier. Next year, we're going to have the 2027 Bakies running before the 2026. But let me show you why I don't think they will have a leg to stand on with claiming this guy is not qualified. Everything is up, boost is on. Didn't it share the stupid effing? Why didn't it share the audio? 2 seconds. It's stupid StreamYard. Stupid StreamYard.
Auto video, metadata media, surveillance systems, things of that nature.
Do you work in conjunction with others?
Certainly.
Describe that, please.
Certainly. Well, we do take cases from individuals. Prefer to take cases from attorneys. We've also worked with.
It's because I was reading a text document, and when I share that, because I share it in a different way than I share video files, it'll cut the audio out because StreamYard thinks, oh, you don't need the audio when you then share a video after. Good, now we can't hear. Yes. Boom, boom, boomer. Got it. We're good now. Okay.
With numerous public defenders. We've worked with a federal public defender. We've worked with law enforcement. So quite a variety of clientele.
Civil cases?
Yeah, civil and criminal. I would put it about 60% criminals, 40% civil.
Okay. And on the criminal side, you've done both law enforcement and defense, correct?
Yeah, most of the law enforcement ones, though, have been more geared towards civil. It's when they had perhaps they were party to a suit and it was just improper for them to use their own experts. So that's where we've provided assistance.
All right. Now, how long have you been involved in the field of data forensics?
Sure. Well, my first case and testimony was 28 years ago. I'm not even sure we called it data forensics back then, but that was 28 years ago. And then about 16 years ago, started the company United States Forensics and been full-time in the industry since that point.
All right. Now, you'd mentioned that you'd actually testified for the first time 28 years ago. That would have been 1996, if my math is correct?
That's correct.
You were qualified as an expert witness at that time?
Yes, sir.
In order to have been qualified as an expert witness, you must have had experience before that.
Yeah, it was specifically in computers. We didn't do much with cell phones back then. By about a decade or so in computer IT, networking, we actually built a line of computers, a lot of repairs. So I was pretty deep into the computer IT world at that point.
Okay. And you say you formed your company in 2006.
Correct.
And do you work full-time, part-time? What's your schedule?
Oh, it's been full-time ever since.
Would you describe for the jury, please, your educational background, your training, certifications, etc.?
Why don't we break it down into smaller segments?
Sure.
Okay.
First, with regard to the training that you've received.
Sure. So that would have to do with Associates of Digital Forensics.
Well, that would more be your education, right? You received an associate's degree in digital forensics?
Correct.
Okay, so why don't we start?
He has no training in digital forensic, is what they stated in the document. He has associate's degrees in digital forensics. The problem this guy have is he talks like he's afraid of the mic. I think he's a wonderful person. He is probably a great grandfather and really fun at parties. He's the one who will always tell you why the chicken crossed the road. Because! But he is a really bad witness because he seems insecure.
With education, since you did.
Okay. Well, that was part of the work and more or less the formal training to get that degree. The certifications, which again, this all kind of goes hand in hand, but the certification training would be the CCE, which is certified computer examiner from the International Association of Criminal Investigation Specialists. Also have a certification as a computer crime related investigator, cybersecurity, as well as computer first responder. The training aspects over the last 18 years on really a daily basis, when I've worked, I've participated in listservs, done research into the newest developments in the computer forensics, and really on usually a weekly basis, we'll target some training seminar. I found in this business, even if you took like 6 months off, you would start to get behind in this business. It changes that rapidly, and you really need to do continual training.
Okay, and again, your voice trailed off a little bit at the end, so
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to keep reminding you, but I just want to make sure everybody hears. With regard to the amount, your caseload at USA Forensics, can you give the jury some idea of how many cases you handle on a yearly basis or have handled historically? Yeah,
we average, I would say between 100 and 120 cases a year. We probably get
No experience, no nothing. He has 100 and 120 cases of digital forensic stuff a year. He has no education. Let's go back and talk about the other guy. The other guy is a sales rep with a glorified title from Cellebrite, who has his own program that 75 people, I believe it was, had downloaded. If you're going to battle on the experts, you probably shouldn't battle a guy and claim he has no experience when he has this amount of experience. That's why I think it's BS that they are trying to claim he has no evidence or he has no experience. Remember, folks, Valhalla has a shoddy record with keeping baby animals alive. All those content creators who broke and quit, along with those poor dog hearts after drinking his beer off the floor. Are Brandon gonna imply that a certain creator in Minnesota also had Valhalla as a wrench? Thank you, Celestial. Why do we even need this expert? Just drop the cell search, get someone from Lexus to come explain the key cycles and data and the tail light strength, light working. Bumbling bee, agree again. At what point can you catch a defamation lawsuit from a super chat? Huey and Louie lived a great life, and that was just a joke, clearly. Hey, Libby. Could have just been a coincidence, but those stocks and beer spill happened very close together. They did. They actually did. But the other thing I mentioned earlier,
Court should note the following. Not only does the
and the audio is really bad, so you have to read along.
Cellebrite report confirm the search and the time of that search. Not only do our experts confirm the search and the time of that search, but now a Quantico-trained special agent with the FBI's Regional Computer Forensic Lab. In other words, the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation also specifically confirms that that search was made on Jennifer McCabe's phone, and it was made on or before 2:27 and 40 seconds a.m. on January 29th, 2022. That fact, Your Honor, is no longer open for debate. Court should note the following.
So we have a Quantico expert also, not just Mr. Green, who confirmed these searches, and Vanity Fair have since then also confirmed the searches. But now, because of a new update in Cellebrite, all of that is bunk, mute, and shouldn't be allowed in. Let's hear this one.
The DA also, as my colleague has indicated, I'm sorry, the FBI has confirmed that Jennifer McCabe Googled, how long to die in the cold at 2:27 in the morning. But what has not yet been mentioned is that 5 minutes before that, Brian Higgins and Brian Albert were calling each other at 2:22 in the morning on January.
You have to ask Donna Russian about how that works, because I don't understand any of that.
29th, after previously testifying, they were both asleep at that time. There was a lot of suspicious activity in the early morning hours of January involving the witnesses that Morrissey improperly announced to the public were telling the truth. We're getting to the bottom of it, and the truth will come out. But as we continue to defend her, Your Honor, like any criminal defendant, my client deserves a neutral, impartial prosecutor interested solely in justice, with no vested outcome in this case. And it's crystal clear we do not have that in Michael Morrissey. That is why he should be disqualified from this case. And that is why I urge you to do just that in the interest of impartial justice.
That was when, again, all of this was said in court. No objections, no nothing. But you can't trust any of it, because it's not cromulent. And by the way, Cellebrite wasn't the only tool they used. They used 4 different types of tools then to find out what it was. This is the same one. Yeah. So again, I don't see much chance of Dr. Green not being allowed to testify in this case. I see that Hank keeps on with his childish way of writing his motions. They seem really Mean Girl-ish. That, oh, it's debunked. It's, I don't like that guy. I wish the defense had asked Garino what version of Cellebrite he used and if he used Whiffen's app. I bet they weren't, so how confident were they in their expert? Apparently a lot, but he used the same tools that Mr. Green did, and they are totally untrustworthy. Web server logs are just one line per request containing time URL source. They are really simple and not much is left up to interpretation, much simpler than phone data. I know nothing about it. I just know that I see a lot of Cellebrite in court. Karen should really take up Johnny Depp's trial strategy. Just look down at a notebook the entire time and do not react in any way to any of the crazy and stupid comments being made. This was in motion hearing, so it wasn't in front of the jury. She was very, and that was one of the things that a lot of people on the anti-Karen beat side said was, oh, but look at her. She's making faces. Oh, she's looking angry. She's looking happy. She's looking. All of this is, again, it's just, it doesn't matter because, of course, some people are. I have a natural stone face, so I'm hard to read when I'm sarcastic or when I'm serious. It's one of those things that I hate when people are saying, well, you can clearly see they're guilty because this and that. No, you can't. It's but I think she was stoic as she should be. Paul O'Keefe was worse. He was just sitting there scowling all the time. Ars had yet YouTube kicked me out. Oh, well, then I got an extra view when you came back in. Who eats their goats? I was actually looking at a rack of lamb today. If the thumbs up button isn't colored black, you might be a racism. Get down there and hit that thumbs up or down. Just press 1 and vote Brandon 2025. Yes. If you like my content, hit this one. If you don't, hit this one. It's interaction anyway, and YouTube thinks, oh, maybe we should show him to someone else. Hey, Iron Rabbit. If they turn down this expert after allowing the cop guy to pretend to be an expert, I would have words for that. Canoni must allow him in. I can't see any way she couldn't allow him in. He has a clear background for it. He has the expertise needed to be an expert. He has testified in something between 1,500 and 2,000 cases. He's clearly qualified. It's just, again, the Commonwealth is scared of his knowledge, is what I see in this. I have a resting Dane face. No, some people actually express emotions in Denmark. I just don't do it. And everyone is always, why don't you smile more? I never did. I've never been, I'll smirk more than I'll smile. That's just how I am. Now that I was pointed out in the first trial, the police was in possession of the vehicle at the relevant key cycles. They will change the key cycle to fit the second trial. If they do that, then they will be impeached with it because the defense has the original data. And if the defense has the original data presented at court and they then come in and show, oh, by the way, it's the wrong key cycles, then there would probably be some reason for sanction. I'm not an expert. I don't know anything. But there should be reasons for sanction because then an officer of the court lied to the court. Can we get a baby goat? Baby goat, 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 baby goat, 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 baby goat, 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 goat. No talking about votes until next December. Well, today was sponsored by the community for Brandon for Top Mod of the Year. Might have to consider adding goats. We really don't have enough room for a cow. Isn't it very lean meat, goat meat? McKinsey, are you talking about what's her name? Now I can't remember. The little Texas lawyer, the only one who was almost as short as Dave. Not sure I like these negative campaigns. Could work against you. Hashtag Bakies. Mr. Brennan should just ask the defense not to even provide a defense since they're not trying to take away all their witnesses. Yeah. Baker must have an East European border guard somewhere in his... Must have had a... well, my mom had 2 cousins who were on the wrong side in 40 to 45. One of them died just before the end in 45 in the Alps in a Messerschmitt. Very lean. Don't start. That tune will live rent free in my head for hours. I don't know why people get me started. Venison is very lean and delicious when properly prepared. Been eating it for 3 days. Yeah, but you need someone who can cook all that gaming meat. You need someone who has the skill to cook it, because a lot of it's the same with ostrich. A lot of people will just try and treat it like beef, and it'll be not good. But that was the filing from yesterday, Brandon. It's only 10 o'clock. Are we doing it still? It's Friday. This is the last day of the campaign. We are just coming in hot on 25. If you have better content for hundreds of chats, go right ahead. Ostrich burgers are delicious. We have a burger bar in my town that used to make them. They took them off, and I loved them. They were so great, ostrich burgers. They made them with serrano ham, and instead of bacon, then serrano ham, but fried like bacon. You can get a fried egg on top. Oh, it was good. I'll do a half. Well, I'm doing a full because it's 4 o'clock my time. I'll be right back. Me and Brandon have our Friday ritual, and I don't have really anything else to show you about this other than, again, it seems like little girl tactics. It seems like we are afraid of all your expert, and we can't battle them with our experts, so let's try and get them disqualified because we know we have a friendly judge. Hey, Panella. Get a beer. We're going to chuck one. Yeah, it's Friday. I know it's weird, but I know it because I've been doing dancing today. Thank you, Celestial Force, for an empty super chat, but that don't count. What? It didn't post what I said? What the F? Well, oh yeah, they have turkey burgers down there as well. Ostrich and turkey burger. I like that. I really like that. I asked for a dance. Well, I don't dance. Only when, yeah. So far, I'm leaning towards let's go. Thank you, G-Con. Hey, Katie. Just came in the back end of it. I'll be uno momento, por favor. Oh. I can get someone to talk to you while I'm off. You just said you were going to day drink with us and then you run. Oh, typical. Bison. I never had bison meat. I think that's good. Hey, Stace. You're in charge. Well, okay. Then it was fun having the channel. See you later, because now Zach's in charge. Michigan deer is great. Isn't that elk? Don't they have a lot of elk up there? Or is it another state? I don't know what I'm talking about. Probably another state. Bison cheese.
Oh, shit. What up, y'all?
Hey, Copan.
What's going on? All right, forgive the fact that I'm in pajamas because, you know, it's early. But we got baby goats, y'all.
Oh.
This little... All right. Mama is very upset. She likes to have her babies very close at all times. This one's a girl. We like girls. She's super cute. Don't have a name yet, but she's got some cute little spots. She's adorable. They were born yesterday. Little black, got a bunch of little spots on her. She's super cute. Oh, the lighting in here is terrible. All right, dude. And then we got a little boy. He's brown, super dark. Man, I wish the lighting was better in here. He's a good-looking buck. He's going to be big. Look how long his legs are. He's huge. I can't see chat right now either. This mama, this is Daisy. She is by far one of the most protective moms I have. She doesn't
How
want
are,
those babies.
how are goats as parents? Because I was watching Clarkson's farm, and pigs apparently are horrible parents.
Pigs are horrible. They'll end up squishing a lot of their own babies on accident. They just kind of roll over on them. Goats are hit or miss. Most of it, and a lot of it's kind of breed specific. I have Nubian goats, and Nubians are pretty good. They birth really easy. A lot of the times, by the time you find out they're birthing, they're already done. And they do a pretty good job of just, taking care of their babies. I've got one goat that's kind of, I got one bad mom for a goat. The blonde one, her name's Rose. She's terrible. She'll go and just drop her babies like out in the middle of the yard and just leave them out there. Actually, the blonde one, I don't think she's ever had babies in the barn. She's a pain in the butt. Can you see the babies?
He called them Nubian goats.
Yes, Nubians. Anglo-Nubian is the breed. They're a dual-purpose breed. They're really giant dairy goats, so they've got enough to get meat on them. And what are you doing? And they have the highest fat content to their milk. So they're like one of the few goats that you can actually make butter out of their milk.
Oh, interesting.
It's not real easy, mind you, but you can do it.
Well, it's just a lot of this.
Yeah. That's what I hear. That's what I
Yeah. How many goats do you have?
At the moment, I have 18, I think. We've got Daisy's mom, who's my other reddish brown one. She's on the verge of popping. I thought she was going to have babies last night. But she looks like she's got at least 3 in her. So we'll see what that turns into. Then I've got another
Why do
couple that are
animals
ready to
always
pop.
get kids at night?
With
So
goat,
annoying.
it's really common with goats actually to like right before a cold front. So like anytime you're about to get like a wave of cold, you're going to have a couple goats that'll pop if they're close. I don't know why. It just happens that way.
Danny T has Nubian wethers.
Oh, nice. Nice. I don't have any Nubian wethers. I've got one wether that's like a pygmy or something. I don't know if he's a pygmy or what's the other one? Nigerian? No, I think he's a pygmy. But the rest of all my breeding goats are Nubians. We got him first, so he's just here still.
Do they usually give birth at this time of year? And you said yes, because then there's less diseases.
Yeah, so goats, their pregnancy is 5 months, so they can technically have babies twice a year if you push them. I just let mine do their own thing. I keep an open herd. The buck stays with my does all the time. They do it on their own time. But there's benefits to having them in the winter. Like I was saying yesterday, there's not as much. The parasites are down, the bacterias are down. So when they're little bitty babies, they don't have quite as much to deal with. They do fine in the cold. And I got these little, we'll throw stuff like this out there, right? Or like dog crate tops. And the babies will all crawl in there and they'll get a little cuddle puddle going. and the heat stays in those little hutches really good, and they stay plenty warm.
Brandon sent a super chat saying, "Now show the baby ducks."
There's no baby ducks this time of year, Brandon. That's why the other ones didn't make it either. Baby ducks don't do good in the cold. Baby goats do good in the cold. Baby ducks are a different beast. They need like 100-degree temperature to thrive.
And 5 months, there's a bunch of Irish twins among goats.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Just when on New Year's, before I went up to see my daughter, I was watching, those reels on Instagram. And there was this Instagram of parents waiting for the pregnancy test. when you could hear their 5 months twins crying in the background. And it was positive. It was so. She just looked distraught, and she was like, "I didn't think it could happen." And he was like, totally stone-faced, saying, "We're gonna do it. We can do this."
That dude's contemplating ending his own life, is what he's doing. Oh, I'm excited about this little girl, though. She's super adorable.
Yeah, I like the ears and that little white spot. That face looks like it's gonna ram someone.
No, Nubians are gentle. They call them the gentle giants. They don't. Well, and they can get aggressive, but on the Valhalla farm, we really try to avoid aggressive goats. That's why we spend so much time with them.
Brendan, it's sadly Valhalla just saw the campaign and then chose to come on.
Baby goats, Valhalla 2025. Get off my beard. No.
Mac is saying, name for baby male goat, Baker, need a poll. No, that's for Valhalla's next stream.
The one thing you got to keep in mind with names for baby goats is Mrs. Valhalla has the final say. That's the one thing you got to keep in mind.
Yeah, that's
that one's cute.
And I met her. Don't mess with her.
Don't do it. You're making a mistake.
The Valhalla petting zoo will come to you.
Mm.
You should do one of those traveling petting zoos. That couldn't be hell on earth driving around with 5 different animals.
Goats are really easy to travel with. Once you start moving, they basically just lay down and wait till they get to wherever they're going.
Oh, well, then it's easy to go out and do pettings at schools and stuff like that.
Yeah. I've definitely taken baby goats in like the cab of my pickup before and just put them on the floor and they'll just lay down. They've got nowhere to. They're not trying to jump around or nothing in the truck. They just lay down, wait patiently.
Baby goat naming stream with Mrs. Valhalla.
She might be down.
But should we do the Friday thing? I don't know if you have a Yingling.
It's cold, and it's really cold outside. So I don't think. Are you just chugging it? Oh my! Why did you already start?
Because I said, should we do it? And you said, yeah. And then you started giving me your life tale.
I was going to tell you that it's cold, and I'm not going to be able to get the whole thing down in one go. Freezing out here.
That little goat, that little guy looks like a Brandon to me. I'm going to suggest Brandon and Brandy after your 2 favorite internet personalities.
Ooh, that's pretty good, actually. Wait. These 2 are definitely too dark to be a Brandy. I need a blonde one for a Brandy, I think. We can name the boy Brandon probably, because, he's dark like Brandon's soul. That could work.
I love the internet beef no one saw coming. The Baker mods between Val and Brendan. How about Reed for the boy? Brandon could be a good name for the boy.
So this boy, he looks like the first baby goat we ever got. The first baby goat we ever got was named Max, and he was like the learning curve, right? We learned a lot of mistakes with that one, but he looks just like him. Turns out if you just carry a baby goat around for the first 3 months of its life, it thinks it's a person, and it feels that you should all just carry it whenever, even when he weighs 80 pounds. So we learned that we can't just carry him around all the time. We gotta let him walk with us.
It's it's not a pet. It is an animal that.
He thought he was a pet.
Yeah, but that's the same when you have those massive dogs that think they are lap dogs.
Yeah.
No, you're a golden retriever.
Mrs. Valhalla just got home.
Oh, so early.
He went to spin class this morning.
I went to dance class this morning.
I bet you did, Baker.
I
bet
did. I went to it's called retro dance.
A retro dance.
Yeah.
Was it disco?
Some of it was, some of it
Staying alive, staying alive.
they played,
Staying
Grease Lightning.
alive. Like a what?
So
Sorry.
they played Grease Lightning.
Nice.
Diane
Nice.
G has 4 words, Val. Traveling bait goat wrestling. Baby goat wrestling.
No. That's another thing that people make mistakes with, right? They want to play with their goats. They want to roughhouse with their goats. It's never a good idea. Never, ever, ever. My goats know that they're not supposed to touch me with their horns. Right? That's like a no-go. They can touch each other with their horns all they want. They don't get to touch people with their horns.
I lied? I do that a lot.
What'd you lie about?
I don't dance.
Oh.
But I
You gyrate?
do the sprinkler. Is that the one where you... I mostly just try to get the feet right because I haven't been doing it in a long time. It's really good cardio exercise.
Dancing?
And it's
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, and I know a lot of people are thinking that badass moving around in the gym, but it's really a good exercise, and you hear good music, and it's a good way to start.
Dancing's like imbued in our DNA. Like it's something that people have done forever without the necessity of modern technology. Dance has been around since humans have been on 2 feet.
When is the Valhalla v the kangaroo fight, and is it on pay-per-view?
I would broadcast that free. Watch me whip some kangaroo's ass.
You would get beaten silly by a kangaroo.
Not even close. I've been studying the ways of the kangaroo fight.
It'll slash your stomach within a second, and you will be bleeding out.
I'd choke that kangaroo out so fast.
Should you show them the penalty dance like Turtle Boy? I don't know what the penalty dance is.
That's news to me.
Yeah, I don't dance, I skateboard. I only dance with elderly women. Yeah, not one under 65 in that class. It doesn't matter.
Baker crashes the nursing home weekly dance-a-thon. Oh, that's funny. Sort of like Zumba, but slow.
I hate Zumba. I hate all the Latin because it's too fast for my fat legs. Can honestly say I attended a dance class. Don't dance, he says. Well, I don't dance. I don't go to a club. Well, last time I was out drinking, I actually danced at a club, but that was only because someone seemed really sad. So I danced with her. But it was probably more sad after. But I don't dance now. If we could get a declawed kangaroo, and I still think one kick with those legs and he would go flying.
He needs his claws. It's got to be a fair fight.
It's not a fair
give him
fight.
a chance. Oh, pretty mama.
You should contact Don King, set up a fight, get rich.
Don King would get rich. That dude's taking more boxers' money than any man on the planet.
Brandon is offering to sponsor the exhibition.
Apparently, PETA frowns on fighting kangaroos nowadays.
Yeah, and we frown
I
on
was trying
PETA.
to set it up with Aussie a couple of years ago, but Aussie said that it was really illegal, so I stopped.
But that's in Australia.
Where else are
You
you going to
know,
get a kangaroo?
you Google it. You have one in
That's
Texas.
true. That's true. That's true. I forgot about that. We did find some that we could buy. I forgot about that. Oh, pretty mamas.
I don't. No, I don't. I go to classes. We just need to learn how to pull the kangaroo off of Val when it doesn't respect his tap out. Yeah, that's going to be the next one.
I'm
What's
telling
our
you,
next
I've been
trial?
studying. I've been studying the ways of the kangaroo fight. I am one with the kangaroo. I got this, y'all. I would whip a kangaroo's ass. I would, Daisy. I would.
Our next trial will be the hearing in Karen Reed on Tuesday. There's a case supposed to start next week, and there's another case supposed to start Monday next, which actually could be quite interesting. There's a hearing that I think Recovery Addict is covering today. There was a hearing yesterday where the jury's going to be secluded, so they're going to be picked Wednesday next week, and then they're sent home to have to be back, and I think it's running in. I think it's in Nashville. They're going to run the trial. I think she was stabulated or something like that. I can't remember it. I might look at that one.
What trial are you talking about?
I can't remember what the name was. It's I can see what is it he's covering the good recovery addict. It's a Jason Chen trial.
Don't go. Go on. Go on. Go on. Quit licking my phone.
It's a Chattanooga man accused with first-degree red rum and abuse of a corpse.
Chattanooga?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm familiar yet.
Chattanooga, Tennessee. A judge had denied a motion to suppress evidence. Charged with the red rum of Jasmine Pace in 22. He stabulated her to death in his apartment, stuffed her remains in a suitcase. Oh, another suitcase case. And dumped that suitcase off of Suck Creek Road.
Well, that was nice of him, huh?
I bet Suck Creek Road is a popular hangout with the teens.
I bet it's not. I bet not a whole lot of people hang out at Sock Creek Road.
Well, I don't know. That's because the defense claims some of the evidence came from illegal searches, including by Pace's mother. Courtroom documents say in the hours after she went missing, Katarina Pace used a credit card to bypass the apartment store locked doors. Judge Boyd Patterson ruled, we have had Boyd Patterson before, I think, ruled that while the defense claims had merit, it did not satisfy the necessary legal requirement for evidence suppression. They won't use any of the bad evidence. Of course not. Never would they ever do anything bad. Can we see what is claimed? Chattanooga police confirmed that the human remains they found on Suck Creek Road are those of the 22-year-old Jasmine Pace.
22,
Not only
that's right.
family and friends devastated, but our community. Pace was reported missing by her mother on November 26th. Jasmine later sent her location to her mother, who found her ID and credit cards in an apartment on Tremont Street belonging to her boyfriend, Jason Chen. The affidavit says Jason Chen is being charged with the red rum of Jasmine Pace. Police found blood on the living room hardwood floor, bathroom grout, and bedroom carpet, along with blood spatter on the bathroom wall, the affidavit says. Oh, yeah, the blue star is really lighting up that room. Further inspection by forensic reveals that there was a larger area of blood in the living room, bathroom, and bedroom that had already been cleaned up, the affidavit said.
Well, somebody's going to prison forever.
Yeah, probably. You don't have the in Tennessee?
Yeah.
Oh, you do have that.
Oh, yeah. We're extremely Republican down here. They got no qualms with putting people to the.
Oh.
Hey.
It was set for December.
Look who's
But
here.
Actually,
Hello.
I'm gonna go walk.
I thought Ruby beat.
I thought so too. That's why I ran out here. I thought she was ready. They're all just mobbing me out there.
You looked huge.
They want to take weapons. Everybody.
When's the Karen Reed trial start, Baker?
No date set so far, but probably about around April,
We're gonna try to do that together again.
if you wanna.
I might. I figure we almost have to, right?
Yeah. Well, get the team back together.
Yeah. Maybe I'll be there for like more than half of it this time.
I'm gonna send Marissa again.
That a boy. That a boy.
People are asking Mrs. Valhalla if you can name the goat Brandon.
They want to name the boy Brandon and the girl Brandy after our two favorite creators on YouTube. Well, Brandon's not a creator. He's just a personality. I said that she's black and we would have to have like a blonde goat for a Brandy. She's too dark. That's too dark for a Brandy.
Okay,
Brandy's blonde.
no, not.
It might not be. What do I know?
What about Black Brandy, the one that sings and is
That's not
acting
the
and
Brandy we're
stuff?
talking about.
I'm just saying.
That's not the Brandy we're talking
You
about.
can't.
I'm not saying black people can't be named Brandy. I'm saying the Brandy that we're talking about naming, the Brandy we're talking about naming the goat after has blonde hair. It'd be silly to name a black goat Brandy. That's what I was saying.
Very likely not going to get a blonde baby. So
We might.
We may not.
Rose is blonde.
We only got 2 blonde babies out of all the ones we had last year. I don't think we're going to get very many.
Well, they're rare.
So I may want to name those whatever I want.
I told you she gets final say on the naming, yo.
So I'll let you have these 2.
Oh, we can have these two?
I'll let you guys have these 2.
Cat can have these two, she says.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Easy. I settled on Blackheart Brandon and agreed on personality. Blasphemy.
Oh, there's somebody. Not like me.
He doesn't want you anywhere near her, baby.
He's so mad at me right now.
I've never seen Daisy like be aggressive. This is Daisy, by the way, y'all. The mama, she's Daisy. I've never seen Daisy be aggressive to people ever. And then last night, when we were in here checking on the babies, she was headbutting Valkyrie. Not like hard, but just enough to be like, stay away from my babies. Don't touch them.
Just in the arm, not body shots.
I've never seen her do that to a person before. He's fine. He was up running around a minute ago. That's fine. He's fine. Little girl's all kinds of excited at the moment. Yeah, we've got at least 2 more mamas that are going to pop probably this week. We were expecting Daisy's mom to have popped already.
He's right.
She's going to start headbutting you again.
Brandon the Blackheart and Brandy of the Blinding Smile.
Of the blinding smiles. I like that. You're okay, mama. This is by far the best time of goat farming, is when you get babies.
Yeah, they seem really easy. They well, they're new. In a couple of days, they're probably going to run all over the place.
Well, they'll stay. So we keep them isolated because, like I said, we keep an open herd. And my buck is huge. Jasper's, he's well over 200 pounds. And he, well, we learned that he has a tendency to end baby goats, which is probably normal, I guess. But so we keep our babies locked in nursing stalls for the first couple months, usually.
Well, I mean, he's still in rut, so he's still
He's just too big.
Well,
I mean,
there's other goats in heat. You know, there's a whole lot to it. He's
Yeah,
not
but
just
that's the
big.
thing with every time any animal have babies, you have to keep the dad away because he will kill
Yeah.
competition.
well, he'll just try to discipline them like they're a normal goat, right? Because he's the boss. So goats communicate that way, and he'll squish them, and we've lost a couple babies that way. So we learned that we just keep them in their own stall for a few weeks, couple months, let them get some size on them, let them learn how to run away. Because right now, a baby's instinct when they're in danger, they just fall flat. They get as low to the ground as possible. And if you've got a 220-pound buck pushing on you, that
Yeah.
doesn't really help them.
No, they'll just squish.
Yeah.
But it's the same with kittens and stuff like that. You can't have the male cat around there; he will kill him.
That makes
And,
sense.
And it's just nature. And
Yeah.
I love that everyone is. Oh no! Well, go watch The Lion King.
Right.
There's only one Simba and a lot of Nalas.
Yeah. You ain't wrong there. Oh. She's going.
Yeah, just like with humans, they're easiest when they're babies. It only gets harder. My daughter was at New Year's, and they had to go home because they were hanging out with their young friends who doesn't have kids, and 20-year-old, early 20s at New Year's get a little bit loud. So she took him home, and she was, oh, this is gonna be hell for New Year's, and he's probably gonna be awake. Send me a picture at 12 where he was just doing the.
Yeah.
So I was fine.
That's the thing with babies, right? Like, if you coddle them and keep everything silent, then the slightest noise messes with them. But if you keep a lot of noise all the time, then they just sleep right through it.
Yeah, that's my sister took her my nephew to a restaurant, and that when it was early, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's so noisy." He said, "Yeah, I can just get out and go if he can't handle it." No, but it's too bad. We're going to restaurants all the time. I have to teach him how to be at a restaurant.
Yeah.
When a male lion takes over a pride, he will unalive all the existing cubs. That sends the lioness into heat so he can get busy making his new pride. Yeah, and it'll be his genes that's carried forward.
Yep.
Hey, 3 beers. We just had 3 beers too. Oh, Diane G. Have you heard who I'm having on tomorrow?
No, who?
Dictionary Diva. It's gonna.
Oh, I
be
did see that. Yeah,
Who did I have with her and Mo?
I love
Mo.
Diva.
I'm just gonna turn on the stream and let her and Mo go, and then 2 hours later I'd cut the stream, and they'll probably still be going.
Yeah, you might not get to talk at all tomorrow.
No, that's fine by me. Boar goats. That's the white and brown ones, isn't it?
What's that?
Boar.
What are you
I don't know
saying?
how you pronounce it.
I can't read it.
It's South African.
Oh, boar goats. Boar goats. Yeah, she looks like a boar goat. That's kind of what they look like with the white and the brown for the most part. We don't think so. Maybe. I don't know. We don't know. I have no idea. Boar goats are meat goats, though. They're usually a little stockier.
It also avoids annoying cops saying, "You're not my real father." Those lions are onto something. Probably couldn't do that. So you still haven't gotten your link for tomorrow? Well, Zach, it's in the mail. It'll arrive soonish.
Soon-ish. Oh.
Dictionary Diva probably have an exclusion in her contract for me. I think after that debacle with HR the last time, most of the female guests have that one.
Yeah, I've had to process a lot of those claims.
Yeah. That's especially when Jamie is filing the HR complaint and she is head of HR. So, but I think I'm going to jump off because we covered it. We had an hour of goading, and I'll probably be on tonight if I can get out of bed. I'll be on with the expert if he's doing Friday Night Live tonight at 9-ish
Eastern.
p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
maybe if he sends me an invite, I'm just taking him for granted, like all of my ex-wives did. Don't go back there. It's too raw still. The rest of you, if you're not up and running at 9 p.m., join us tomorrow at 9 a.m. where Mo, Jamie, and I will have the wonderful Dictionary Diva on for another bout of Stabby Day. We covered the Karen Reed news today. It again looks like a desperate measure from the Commonwealth to try and obfuscate everything in this case because they have no evidence to the only important evidence. John O'Keefe was not hit by a car because none of his injuries is consistent with being hit by a car. The rest of it is just smoke and mirrors. It's not important if Colin was at the house, what the music was, if they were standing at a high top. The only important part that can the Commonwealth prove John O'Keefe was hit by Karen Reed's Lexus. They couldn't in the first trial. I bet you they can't in the second trial.
I'm willing to bet the same.
And Diva is promising her A game tomorrow, so you better be here or you will be square. Remember, vote Brandon 2025. Or
How dare you?
Jamie will yell at you.
How dare you, sir?
Well, he sponsored the show.
What exhibit are you referring to? I'm going to make this 100, Your Honor. All right, 100.
100.
Because it is 100%
100%.
correct.
So you literally built a cannon?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
All right, I'm in love.
Go back. Please do that again. Oh, that was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
While I'm waiting for this, did you, whether it's true or not, believe that Mr. Randolph had slept with your wife?
I wouldn't care.
You wouldn't have cared?
No,
Did you believe he had slept with your wife?
no,
Did you believe he slept with your mother-in-law?
probably did. Everybody has.
So there-
Everybody has.